I'm Friendly and Cute, and this is the in-depth champion guide to Syndra. We will start off with the lore, followed by a brief spell explanation. Afterwards, we will proceed to speak about your role in a team as Syndra. Then we go on to the counter-matchups and synergy, talk about several build paths, and then end with her mechanics, starting with the basic ones, and then progress into the advanced mechanics. I hope you will enjoy this guide, and if you do, don't forget to like this video. Let's start with lore. Born with immense magical potential, Syndra loves nothing more than exercising the incredible power at her command. With each passing day, her mastery of magical force grows more potent and devastating, even if it means annihilating the authorities that seek to stop her. Throughout her youth in Ionia, Syndra's reckless use of magic terrified the elders of her village. They took her to a remote temple, leaving her in the care of an old mage. To Syndra's delight, the mage explained that the temple was a school, a place where she could develop her talents under his guidance. Though she learned much during her time here, Syndra no longer felt her power growing as it had in her youth. Her frustration grew, and she finally confronted her mentor, demanding an explanation. He revealed that he had dampened Syndra's magic, hoping to help her learn control and restraint. Accusing him of betrayal, she advanced on the mage, commanding him to lift the spell that was holding her back. He backed away, telling her that if she couldn't control herself, he would be forced to nullify Syndra's magic completely. Furious, she summoned her power and dashed the old man against the wall. With her mentor dead, Syndra felt the rush of her unbounded potential for the first time in years. Though she had won her freedom, she refused to return to the society that had tried to steal her gift. Instead, Syndra decided to claim her former prison as a stronghold. Pushing the boundaries of her magic, she tore the structure from its foundations and raised it into the sky. Free to delve further into her art, Syndra now aims to grow powerful enough to destroy the weak, foolish leaders of Ionia, and anyone else who would dare to shackle her greatness. Syndra has the common spell kit of 1 passive, 3 basic spells and 1 ultimate that is unlocked at level 6. Her passive is Transcendent. Each of Syndra's abilities will gain an additional effect at maximum rank and also adds visual effects to some of their spells. That means the passive will not have any effect till you reach at least level 9. The actual effect it has on spells will be explained while I explain these spells. Her Q is Dark Sphere and is her basic skill that can be combined with all her other skills. Syndra conjures a Dark Sphere after 1 second on the target location, which deals damage in a small area and remains there for 6 seconds. Her passive Transcendent will make it last 2 seconds longer. Note that this spell and her W can be cast while walking. Her W is Force of Will and will grab a sphere, enemy minion, or monster. But hey Friendly, what can you actually grab? Well, that is a good question. You can grab enemy minions, a ball, your jungler's buff, 2 balls, tibbers, a lot of balls, and your game.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
Things grabbed are put into stasis and can be held for 5 seconds. You can manually throw them right after grabbing them or wait for a while. The projectile, if it is an enemy, and any enemies struck take magic damage and are slowed for 1.5 seconds. The passive will now let you grab up to 3 stairs near the target area. It will increase the AoE of the ability, but not the damage. Her E is Scatter the Weak. Syndra knocks back all enemies and spheres in the area of effect and deals damage to them. The closer the knocked back enemy or sphere is, the further it will be knocked back. Dark Spheres who are knocked back by the effect of Scatter the Weak will stun all enemies in their path for 1.5 seconds and also deals damage to them. Note, if an enemy was hit by the cone, the spheres will not deal additional damage. Transcendence will simply make the AoE of the spell 50% wider. Her ultimate Unleashed power is what gives Syndra her one-shot potential. Syndra hurls all of her Dark Spheres at the target enemy champion, dealing bonus damage for each additional sphere. It will include the 3 orbs orbiting her, and orbs that lay on the ground after using her Q or W. All Dark Spheres used by the ultimate will remain on the ground for 6 seconds. Transcendent will increase the cast range of her ultimate by 75. This spell will hit you like a truck. This is how most people will feel when you hit them with your ult.
See absolute control.
That should explain the basics of these spells. Further information will be given in the mechanics chapter, but for now let's head to the role in a team. In this topic I will not only explain her role in the later stages of the game, but talk about her laning phase very briefly. Syndra is quite a strong laning phase as her auto attacks are very responsive for last hitting and harassing. Her spells create a huge zone that you can play in as her range is actually really good. A good Syndra can put a lot of pressure on the opponent if her mechanics are used correctly. Her E can also help avoiding ganks by simply knocking enemies back, buying time for escape. Remember to always think about who is the actual danger and keep him away. Most of the time you want to knock the person back who is more likely to lock you down. So if you do push your lane out, save the spell as long as you can and rather spam the Q, if your mana bar allows that. One of your strongest spikes will be hitting level 6, giving you the opportunity to demolish your enemy laner very early if played right. So try to abuse that ult if you see the enemy jungler somewhere on the map. What you should be taking care of though, is that the ult is not dishing out all its damage in an instant. Meaning even if you land your CC, some champions will be able to negate half of the ult's damage. For example Kayle using her own ult, or a champion using barrier. To be honest, some people would debate that mid laners should roam a lot, but I believe Syndra's strength is in the 1v1 and she should try to pin her enemy to her lane and push her out. If the enemy laner leaves, call it to your team a few times and push out the lane to take their tower. Now to her role in the later stages. Syndra can be used for wave clear, picks, disengage and follow-up CC. In some cases, but less likely, she can also be the initiation tool. The wave clear should be obvious. Most of the time you can clear a wave by doubling a melee minion into the casters and then using your Q. This has an okayish range, meaning you can defend turrets for quite a while to stall the game and try to do a comeback. If you are on the offense, it's the same as it makes pushing up lanes to take objectives, especially neutral ones, very fast and efficient. Syndra is also able to create picks as she has the potential to burst a single person out very easily with her kit. This can be used to pick a carry off guard that went too far up, or if you can just find one person alone somewhere around the map. Obviously it will create a 4v5 that is in your advantage again, allowing you to pick an advantageous fight or just push someone off an objective that you want to take. The disengage is not the most reliant, to be honest. When your team wants to escape through the river or lane, using a seer with your skeleton weak will most likely not be as effective. If you do that in a choke point, you might hit several member, disengaging very efficiently. Note that you can actually disrupt some spells with your E. This will be further explained in the matchup and synergy topic. Follow-up CC is what I really love about Syndra. Most of the time it is just very risky to go in as Syndra, do your combo to kill someone without your E, and then try to use your E to engage, or just engage with one or two seers and your E. It is unreliable and also very dangerous as one CC ability can already kill you. This is why I love her as follow-up CC. If your initiator went in, you will most likely have enough time to land your standard combos and burst one carry. Afterwards, you throw the 4 to 6 balls you will have laying around into the enemy team to chain your CC. I believe if you have a strong initiation tool in your team, you should restrain from initiating a full-blown team fight. The counter-matchup and synergy topic will be held quite short. I actually want to talk about two matchups. They're quite different from each other, and if you think a little, you can use these matchups to understand others. It is a crucial part to understand the matchups by drawing parallels to another matchup, but also understand the differences. That is something no one else can do for you, as it is part of your own game understanding. I already explained how to deal with high map pressure champs like TF in the previous chapter, as it is quite easy. I will explain how to deal with high mobility champions and long range poke, as this is what Syndra can struggle with. Of course there are matchups that you will most likely not kill, like Morgana, but she shouldn't cause any trouble. Let's start with the high mobility champions. We should categorize them into two different types: high mobility through dash and high mobility through blink. The more experience you gain, the easier it is to deal with a dash. Let's use LeBlanc as an example, as I'm very familiar with this matchup. LeBlanc's standard poke in the early game is just QW combined with an auto attack. You can negate nearly all the damage as you can simply interrupt her dash with your E. You don't need any steers to do that. And as LeBlanc's second Q effect will not trigger and the W will not hit you, her damage will be gone, giving you the opportunity to trade more damage back to her. Same goes for Diana, Akali, etc. Of course, you got to be a bit more careful the more jumps the champion has. I can just repeat, only use your E if it is necessary. Don't use it for pushing or farming. The second type of high mobility is Blink. I guess by now you should understand the problem with them. If timed correctly, they can just blink over your Scatter the Weak, making it useless. For example, Katarina. She has no cast time on her Shanpo and will simply appear behind you. So again, do not use your E as she can just engage you as you will be vulnerable. I would handle this matchup like this. You can simply farm from a safe range. If you want to try out trading her, do wait till she used her Q ability on minions, and if it didn't hit you, try to land your Q on her. If she Shanpos it, pick it up and throw it at her and throw a second Q after her to land your poke. If you are in range, you would like to get one auto attack in to proc Thunderlords. Your E will only be used if you can definitely kill her by going all in. It is less risky if she used her Shampoo on something else just a second ago. If Katarina jumps on you and starts channeling her old Death Lotus, you can simply use your E behind you to hit her, as Shampoo will always make her appear behind you. I actually instantly used it when getting Shampooed and most of the time disrupting her ulti instantly. It is risky though, as a very slow Katarina or a very clever one might wait a tiny bit to use it. The real problem is the long range poke. And who is a better example than this annoying bitch Xerath? At the moment of me uploading this, Syndra has a 41% win rate over Xerath. That is simply terrible. I would say that there are 3 things that you can abuse to go out victorious, or 1 thing to survive. If you want to survive, you will try to farm as much as you can and put on your damn dancing shoes, as you will be dodging all game. Luckily, your Q and W can be casted while moving without slowing you down. Xerath slows himself when charging up his Q, making him an easy target. So if you are at the right position, you can try to hit him while you dodge, as you are not slowed. If this is utilized correctly, it can give you an advantage over Xerath. The poke will definitely hurt him. Keep that in mind because it also gives you a chance to all in. The second one would be punishing his mana cost. His mana costs are high, and to get mana back he will try to trigger his passive. So he has to come closer to his wave again, giving you the opportunity to strike. If you got him you can even try to freeze the lane and zone him away. But be wary of ganks then. The third thing is that you can cancel his ultimate by hitting your QE combo. Afterwards, you can decide if you want to attack and try to burst him down or just fall back. But no matter what you do, be cautious as this matchup is definitely in the favor of the massive poke champ. So, you wanna see synergy here? Well, you can knock people into CC. I guess this is a topic that will not be used in every guide, as there is no special synergy with Syndra. If you find one, let me know. I'd love to. And nope, knocking people into something like a Nami bubble is not synergy. Same goes for someone stunning and you following it up. It's nothing special, so I don't mention it here. Note that this entire section is made while patch 6.17 is running. I will create an annotation if this is outdated. Well, let's start with these skills. We have 2 different possibilities on how to skill Syndra. The first, and I guess most common one, is putting a point into a Q, then W, then E, and then max the spells in the same order, always leveling up the ultimate when available. The second one has the same start, and will also max Q first, but then proceed to max E second and W last. Of course you can swap around the first 3 spells and skill QEW for example, and then max your Q. The first one is a more mana hungry, damage oriented route, as it will give you more all-in potential but less self-defense. If you max E second, you decrease the cooldown of your spell, hence giving you more survivability. For runes I would recommend 9 flat magic pen marks, either 9 flat armor seals, 9 flat HP seals, or 9 HP per level seals. For glyphs, 9 flat MR glyphs are the most common, but I like to play 6 CDR per level glyphs and 3 flat MR glyphs. and I would always recommend 3 flat AP quints. In the Mastery we will go for the Thunderlord Keystone, and the only real decision you have is if you go for the Precision or Intelligence in the Cunning tree. I prefer Intelligence. As for Summoner spells, we go for Flash paired with either Ignite for more kill pressure or Ghost. I've also seen some people take Exhaust into matchups like that. Our item build starts with Doran's Ring and 2 health pots. Our boots will be Sorc boots. I usually build them whenever it suits me. Most of the time it's after the first or second item. But please, at least build the basic boots after the first item. The first item we will rush in nearly all games is Morellonomicon. We benefit from every single stat that Morello gives us. Definitive core item. The second item will be either Ludens or Relies. Ludens will higher your damage output and Relies give you more HP and a slow on your spells that allows you to catch up with enemies. Afterwards, Rabadons is a really good third item, boosting up your damage output immensely. With 2 items left, I would always go for a Void Staff because we will need the Magic Pen. The last item is highly situational. Here are some options. Let the real fun begin now with the mechanics. All mechanics will be shown while they are explained. Your most basic combo is the W-Q combo. It will kill all caster minions and possibly a melee minion. W a melee into the casters and then Q them. If you have enough damage, the melee will be dead too, leaving you with 2 minions left. This is the advanced wave clear, but should be used with caution, as it sets your E on cooldown. W a melee minion onto the other 2 melee minions. Q the melees and then use your E. Your E will hit the caster minions and you can kill them with another Q. To catch an enemy off guard, you can use the EQ combo. Hard to pull off at the beginning as the Q has to be at the absolute max range of your E. It will come with a short delay, throwing off the enemy even more.
Surprise, motherfucker!
The 2 sphere stun while walking comes in extremely handy if you want to gank another lane, or if you don't have the chance to stay somewhere and prepare the stun. You throw your Q somewhere around you, then W the sphere, and throw it into the direction you want to stun, and place another Q right next to it while it is flying. Immediately use the E afterwards for a quick stun without stopping. The 3-star stun is especially useful for siege situations. You simply Q somewhere, Q again into the direction you want to stun, grab the first sphere with your W, throw it close to the second Q, and use another Q, and then knock all 3 into your enemies with your E. The 4-star stun has 2 possibilities. It also comes with some requirements. By now you will have some CDR with your Morello making this possible. A max Q would also work if you don't have the CDR. You simply Q somewhere once, and 2 times in the direction where you want to stun. Then pick up and throw the first sphere in the same direction and use your E. An even better version is just hiding 3 balls somewhere close to each other and take all 3 of them with a maxed W, throwing them in, casting another Q and then E them all. This makes it less predictable. The 6-hit ult is very simple. You simply use Q, take it into your W, throw it, Q twice and press ult. Of course you can mix it up, but this is the most common combo. So the 7th swear ult is the highest possible single target burst. You need 5% CDR and a maxed Q. You start by using Q 3 times and then grabbing the first ball, throwing it when you can cast another Q and instantly ult. 7 is the highest possible amount at the moment. If this changes, I will let you know through the annotation and also write down how to do the higher combos. The last combo is Mass CC. Normally you will always have a Q prepared or even 2, if you are in siege mode. If a teammate initiates and CCs a priority target, you will, if you are close enough to the spheres you prepared, either insta-Q and ult, or W-Q and ult to have something around 6 balls at the enemy, and then you scatter the weak afterwards to CC everyone who is in that large cone. This will most likely burst down the priority target and most of the time even stun their entire team if it's somewhat grouped up. This was everything you need to know about Syndra. I hope you enjoyed that guide and could learn a thing or two. Leave some feedback in the comment and suggest another champion I should do a guide on. Next on the list is Azrael. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.